I landed in Dublin with no plan, no bed, and a few unexpected days to kill after my friends' plans changed. I set myself just one mission, to track down a non-alcoholic Guinness. From there, I gave up control. I let strangers decide where I'd go, what I'd eat, and who I'd meet. A bartender sent me chasing spice bags across town. A local whispered about a hidden bar that you have to buzz into. And one wrong detail left me lost in Phoenix Park, grinding through an unexpected 11-kilometer run. In the span of a single day, Dublin threw me into its pubs, its secrets, and its chaos. This is what happens when you hand your story over to the city itself. All right, I'm about to board my flight. Today I'm doing something I've never done. I am heading from Copenhagen to Dublin with absolutely nothing but a flight. No hotel plan, no plans made in Dublin. Originally, I was supposed to meet my best friend there today, but his schedule kind of changed last minute, and now I have a couple of days to kill in Dublin with no plan, no place to sleep, nothing at all on the agenda. Let's see what happens. So I think what we're looking like for the plan today is going to arrive in Dublin and going to completely let random people dictate exactly what I do, where I stay, and what goes on for the entire first day. So let's see how that works out. I have absolutely no idea where that could lead, but let's see. All right, we have landed in Dublin at the airport. Now I've got to sort out how to get to the city center, but I think that's where we'll start. Let's see if I can find some sort of local to give me advice on what is the first thing that they would do in Dublin. But if not, I have some ideas of what we can start with. So we are ticketed. We're going to take the bus to Austin Quay. I've been told that is a good place to start the adventure. So we'll start there and see where it leads us. All right, we are off the bus and we are walking around central Dublin. I am first aiming to find some food and then something to drink. It might end up starting with the Guinness, but I'm gonna try to tuck down a side street here in the next little bit. It seems like where I am is like super touristy, a lot of people on the sidewalks. So I believe I'm walking towards Trinity College, and something tells me kind of in a college area, you might be able to find some quiet streets, a nice restaurant, a nice pub. So let's see if those suspicions are right. But yeah, that's the first thing on the agenda. Find some food, find an alcohol-free Guinness, and then we'll start looking for somewhere to stay tonight. But I believe we're headed in the right direction. So let's see what we can find. I've been waiting for this moment for a long time. I have found in the sober journey, the Guinness alcohol-free is by far the best Guinness, and I have found it on draft. Let's see if we can split the Jeep. Nowhere close. But, god damn it, it's good. I've been looking forward to this for a long time. All right, we found our Guinness Zero, and now next stop is something to eat. So I was chatting with the bartender, and she recommended a spice bag. And it's been something that's kind of been on my radar about Dublin. I wanted to try. And apparently, the place that kind of made it famous is just around the corner. So we're on the way to check that out. But yeah, let's check out some of this music.
Drinking cheap red wine like it's our first date. Wouldn't talk all night about the little things.
I had no idea that Grafton, this big street through Dublin, is famous for busking. So I think I know what I'll be doing here for the next little bit. All right, We have found the spice bags. Let's go see what this is all about. All right, so we have been at Chan street food here for a while. We got the spice bag. It's almost finished, as you can see, because I got into a deep conversation with a nice fella named Eddie that sat down here at the restaurant. We chatted for like an hour about fashion, his upcoming job in Dubai, but he's a really cool guy. Lives here in Dublin and works for Jimmy Choo. Has a really cool job, but yeah, we talked for a while. Such a friendly, such a nice guy. Gave me all sorts of recommendations, and I have some good things on the docket to do later today. But first things first, we've got to go check into the hostel because as of right now, as of 4 p.m. today, I don't have a place to sleep. So we've got to go take care of that first. All right, we've finished with the spice bag. And now it is time to go find our accommodation. So we are headed across town to a hostel. Shocking thing about Dublin is that accommodation is fucking expensive here. I'm paying almost $100 for a hostel, a one bed in a dorm in a hostel. So kind of unexpected there, but yeah, I knew accommodation was expensive in Dublin, but we're on the way over there. And yeah, let's see what we can find along the way. Dublin has been pretty fucking awesome so far, to be honest. The little area around the river, it's so much character. It's so cool. Everything's quite unique, very lively. A lot of people are out and about. Yeah, I am thoroughly enjoying it so far. Such a nice, chaotic change in pace to Copenhagen. So, looking forward to see how the rest of the night unfolds. All right, so we are on our way to our first mission. I was recommended by the guy who checked me in at the hostel to go check out Temple Bar. Apparently it's kind of like the happening bar and kind of pub street with a lot of people out and about. So that's what we're gonna go check out now. I only have like an hour or so because as I was talking, I asked my friend I met earlier when I was having a spice bag about running clubs, and he recommended one called Mild Activity. And actually, they're meeting up tonight at 7 to run a 10K. So I am going to go do that later this evening. But for now, we're gonna go check out Temple Bar. So we have a challenge completed. This is the famous Temple Bar. It's huge. They've got live music. Kind of an interesting place. I don't know the validity of this, but I've got a friend that lived in Dublin for a while, and apparently there's a game the local Dubliners will play called the Temple Run or the Temple Bar Run, but it's apparently where you meet somebody, usually a tourist, in the Temple Bar, have a chat, go back to the hotel room for a shag, and make your way back to the bar. And apparently that's called the Temple Bar Run. Yeah, a friend that lived in Dublin told me a bit about that. I don't know the validity of it, but it seems kind of funny. Anyway, we're exploring further. Let's see what we can find. We have found a fishing store in the middle of Temple Bar. And if you're wondering, it's exactly where the fuck I'll be. And of course, take me to a scenic area to see some places and things. And of course, what do? I go in the fishing store. And got ourselves a fucking cool tote bag. But yeah, having a walking through, seeing all the bars, the people, the sights, the sounds, the smells, the dirty looks because I'm recording, the usual. Got the very first tip that I got from the guy at the tackle shop. I asked him, what things should I do in Dublin what are the local things? What do you like if your friends come to visit? What do you recommend them to do? So the first thing the guy says is, don't stay at a hostel. So I'm like, well, we already fucked that one up. So I said, why shouldn't I stay at a hostel? And he's like, well, it's a big thing in Dublin that apparently homeless people break into hostels and like to crash in the beds and steal things and all that kind of stuff. But again, I don't know the validity of that. But that is what I was told. But yeah, check it out. Modern version of the Last Supper. But I was like, all right, well, we fucked that up. The other two things they recommended were the Guinness Storehouse and the Jameson Factory. So don't know that I have much interested in the non-alcoholic whiskey, but might have to check out the Guinness Storehouse. That seems pretty fucking cool. Because your boy does love a non-alcoholic Guinness. So that will be officially added to the list. So we made a little bit of a mistake. The run club that I was going to, that was meant to start at 7 p.m. Yeah, that was 7 a.m. We fucked up. So luckily I was able to make a quick audible on the tram and decided to go to Phoenix Park. That was one of the recommendations I got for running. So we're here now and we're gonna do 10K anyway. We are almost 9 kilometers into the run. And of course, I don't need to look at a map. So I've just looked at the map and I was running in the wrong direction. So I'm halfway in the middle of Phoenix Park. So still quite a ways to go. But, in the theme of everything being unplanned and off the cuff, sometimes maybe it is good to have a little bit of an idea, a little bit of direction of where you're going, or else you might end up lost in Phoenix. Don't be like me. Don't get lost in Phoenix. All right, so we've just finished 11K in Phoenix Park. And we are walking back to the hostel. I think the plan for the evening is gonna look something like this. I'm gonna shower, get ready, and I reckon go downstairs and mingle a little bit at the hostel and see if I can find someone to go on a bit of an adventure with. And because the friend I met today at lunch recommended a place called the Hacienda Bar. And so apparently it's this weird little hole in the wall that doesn't have any signage or advertising. And there's just this little old man that's like this eccentric, quirky old man that's the bartender. And apparently it's a super interesting place, interesting decor, and super interesting guy that runs the place. All right, we are heading out on a little bit of a solo mission tonight. I'm gonna go check out a bar that was recommended to me by Eddie, the guy that I met at lunch today, called Hacienda Bar. He told me it's kind of a quirky place, so I'm gonna go check that out. And then right around the corner from that is a pub that came up when I was looking for live traditional music. Something I really want to see. I know a lot of the roots of bluegrass music, that's popular in the South in the US, came from Irish folk music. So I want to go check out some of that and hear some fiddle and some banjo and some good old live music. So we're going to go check that out. And let's see what we can find in Dublin tonight. So just left Hacienda Bar. This is it. Budweiser sign in the window. It's kind of a quirky place. So got the door here. No open door to the public. Cheers, fellows. Yeah. The bar owner. It's kind of closed to the outside. Doesn't look like it's open, but really cool place inside. kind of felt bad doing any kind of filming, and obviously, check it out, we've got another one. I think that's the Irish president, if I'm not mistaken. But super cool place. Check them out. That was super cool. Awesome suggestion. But yeah, we're gonna go try to find some live music. So let's see what we can find. All right, so we're about to check out J. McNeil Pub. I think they might have live music, but let's see. Not too sure. Gonna check it out now.
I can feel the cold of your eyes. My love, you're one of a kind. Water as blue as it was.
So that was fucking awesome. So both bars ended up being a hit. Hacienda Bar was a super cool, quirky place. And then we got to hear some awesome live music in this last bar. I fucking love it. I really like how just low-key the live music is. It's not a dedicated stage, just a couple guys just enjoying what they're doing. So super cool to see, super cool to hear. It's definitely a good vibe. And I will be finding some more live music before I leave Dublin. That was awesome. So I think that's it for tonight. It's almost midnight. I'm tired, and I still have no clue what I'm doing tomorrow. So I'm gonna go back and plan a little bit and call it a night early. But yeah, I think that's it for today. That's it. A whole day in Dublin, summed up in 2 words. But the truth is, it was never just about today. It started as a few days to kill, no plans, no expectations, and somehow it became a story I could have never written myself. A bartender's tip turned into a meal that carried me into a long, unexpected conversation with a stranger. His advice led me into a pub I might have walked past 100 times without noticing. And a simple mix-up turned into an 11-kilometer run through Phoenix Park, a reminder that the best days rarely go as planned. That's the beauty of handing over control. The city takes your blank page, fills it in. So yeah, that's it. At least for today.